Gemini, to your Samhain reading. Samhain sits on the Celtic wheel of the year at October 31st, or the period of October 29th to November 1st. And it is a time of year for connecting with the ancestors, with the underworld. It's when nature is going to sleep, or is going into the death phase. So it's a celebration of death, essentially. And I'm going to do your reading here, starting with the Knight of Pentacles. Does someone in your life say close but no cigar? Because, or someone from your, I don't know. That's what I heard. Close but no cigar. It's like, very nearly there. I feel like you've had to take a lot of breaks. It's been a long journey. You were forced to take breaks on this journey. Maybe even if you wanted to plunge forward, you've had to kind of stay where you are. It feels almost like a prophetic dream. Queen of my worlds. This may have to do with your love life, or to do with a situation of... So I want to say, if your Venus or your Moon are in Gemini, then this could be a romantic situation. If not, this is more than likely has to do with either the feminine energy within yourself or a dominant feminine energy around you. It feels like there's a feminine, almost deity or powerful energy that comes in and instructs you in some way. I'm being reminded of, I don't know how to say her name. So there's this warrior goddess-like figure in Celtic mythology. And I, like, even if I tried to say her name, I would butcher it so badly. But, knights would be sent to her. Not even knights. Maybe knights. I don't know. Boys, men, youths would be sent to her. And she was, like, this very challenging, crone-like mother. Like, yeah, warrior energy. It's almost like the lessons of this feminine energy come up through your feet and, like, keep you moving. Otherwise, you would have stopped, or you may have been stuck for a period of time. And that's what I'm seeing. Is that this is going to come in and start you to, or get you to finish your journey, or get you to finish your walk or your movement towards something. So the card Ritual. And Silence. So something about an altar draped in cloth, and what hides underneath it. So there's something about, you know, when, like if you have a table with a tablecloth and like people are coming over and you have like random stuff or random boxes, you just kind of like shove it under the table and put the cloth over it. It's kind of like that. It has that feeling to it. Like there's something that you laid to rest, or something that you hid or in yourself, or hid from yourself even, that is now, I feel like once you get there, you're going to be like, why did that take me so long? It wasn't that, you know, like it wasn't that hard to face it, or it wasn't that hard to go into that battle or to meet that challenge, but it's like the anticipation of that challenge had you stuck. Okay, for some of you, you've been enchanted. Yeah, almost like someone manipulated you or altered your consciousness to see the world in a certain way. Like, you've been very influenced, and this is either, like, it doesn't, you know, there isn't good or bad in the fairy realm, right? Like, there isn't good or bad in these issues. It's kind of, it's both at the same time, right? So for those of you where, you know, it was the energy that kept you moving, it's like a pretty lie or something like that just kept you going. It has value because it kept you going. For those of you where it stopped you or it's been hiding, I feel like it's a more difficult situation for you. I feel like this is almost like you wake up and realize that someone has been controlling you, or someone has been feeding you a reality that isn't necessarily true. So with the ritual card, it says, can you feel them? Wild creatures linked by very blood you will spill into your craft. A ritual of dedication to self and those whose gazes hold fire, but whose whispers carry you softly through the unknown. Okay, for some of you, you've been devoted to some kind of ritual craft or deity or something that has been using you like a puppet in a way. Like, it's kind of like, it was meant to show or expose you to the dangers of, I want to say the dangers of magic. You know what this is reminding me of is the other day, my daughter and I went for a walk in a pine forest, and there was a fairy ring, and I told her not to step in the fairy ring. And if you don't know what a fairy ring is, it's a ring of mushrooms in the woods. And it was a perfect ring of mushrooms in the woods. And you could just feel it. Like, this was a legit fairy ring. And I told her not to step into it, and she did anyway. And my daughter's 11, so she was like, challenge accepted. I'm going to step inside the fairy ring. And within 10 minutes of her doing that, not even 10 minutes, it was like within a minute of her doing that, there was this enormous bug that crawled up into her shirt, bit her, and like she was, it was like, it took a chunk of her skin, and like it almost looked like a little fairy. Like, it was such a huge bug. I think it was probably like a deer fly or something like that. But it happened like right away, and she was like, okay, I understand now. I'm going to respect the circle. There's something about that. I'm going to respect the circle. I'm going to respect the other realm. So maybe there was a way that you were working with that space, that there's a lesson coming in for you about that, about taking your time, or about pacing yourself, or about the energies that you're working with. You know, I don't want this to all be lecture, but like sometimes in these communities, you know, in like witch communities, spiritual communities, people are like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And people are like, yeah, I can go here, I can do this, I can do that. And they're like going far, fast, and being really excited about it, which is great. But sometimes you're dipping into things that are too beyond where you are at. And this feels like pulling back and integrating is needed. We have the card of silence guiding you as well. It says, there is a sweet embrace in the nothingness. Stillness brings a presence of self fully embodied. Yeah, it's like the missing piece of ritual or magic or anything is always the self. Like, it's devotion to a deity teaches you how to devote to yourself and vice versa. It's all as above, so below. What's within, or as within, so without. Like, it's this silence around you, this. Maybe it's even about not allowing anyone to teach you anything for a time or tell you anything, or, you know, stopping, like, read some books about something else, or, you know, read or watch some things about something else. It's kind of like, in order to further your magic or further the nourishing aspects of your magic, there's a need to remove yourself from it. Maybe this is from community related to it, or it's from a certain person. When it comes to relationships, because I don't want to forget that I did bring that up at the beginning. When it comes to relationships, this is a slow-moving process towards someone that you've been kind of obsessed with. It's almost like you, or they've been obsessed with you, depending on which role you take on. And maybe there's been some love magic happening, and there's a reminder here that that is a dangerous form of magic to work with, because you're messing with someone's free will. And it's not going to be satisfying in the end. You want someone to come to you for you. So there may be a period of time that is very quiet in your love life, or there may be a period of no communication with this person. The Page of Swords no communication. Okay, so it's slow moving because there's no communication. It may be that your guides or your spirits or whomever you deal with are not communicating with you, or you have one primary guide that's coming in, and that's her, this queen energy. Now, I did a reading where she came up and she was like, not a good energy to have in your life. So if you watch that reading and you're a Gemini and you're watching this reading, you may want to take the messages from that into consideration. I think it was a Shadow Work Nightmares reading. I'm not entirely sure. But let's clarify here. The Ace of Swords reversed. Okay. Beware, beware. The illusions and epiphanies that are given to you from this energy. It may be that you feel like you have a great idea in relation to this person or in relation to this guide. Just beware of what you are following. I'm reminded of the idea that while spirit guides have a broader perspective, it doesn't mean that they always know what's right or that they're not misleading you. And it does feel like there could be some misleading happening, or in the case of the romantic relationship, there could be some projection. So beware of what this person says about you. With ritual, we have it clarified by the Three of Cups. Okay, so actually, finding spiritual community may be helpful, or finding people to just share to talk with about things. I feel like this is a very nourishing kind of social energy where you may want to come together periodically and celebrate certain things. So maybe you celebrate Samhain, you celebrate different Sabbats with these people and commit to like a year kind of thing of, we're going to meet up and we're going to do, you know, maybe the four major holidays on the wheel of the year, or even the cross ones, or maybe you're doing moons together or something like that. But it feels like there is a bit of it's like a removed devotion. Like, it's really powerful when you come together, but you're not necessarily talking every day, right? And the Nine of Cups. This is, wow. Okay, so there can be a lot of fulfillment here. It's a devotion to this group or to this recurring act of ritual. I think what it is that it's simple. It's not this kind of like dramatic thing. It may just be that you meet up and you go for a walk in the moonlight or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not like it. Or there's a specific ritual that's embedded into the way that you operate. It's like you're integrating ritual into yourself, and it's bringing a lot of emotional fulfillment, actually. Okay, nope, silence is the Tower reversed. Clarified by judgment reversed and death reversed. What is the message for Gemini? This is a lot of pent-up energy, my friends. This is a lot of pent-up energy. Okay, and if this was a relationship situation, it's saying that you're going to have more fulfilling experiences with your friendships throughout this cycle. This is big. The Tower reverse, judgment reverse, death reverse, like stacked one on top of the other. A borrowed bridge never bends. It's like the escape route from something. You need your friends. You need other people for this. Your foundation, your self alone is not enough. This is where you need that energy that's feeding up from the earth. The ancestors or the ancestral guides, the earth elements, not ethereal. I wouldn't go ethereal here. This is the message. Yeah. Okay. So there's something from the past that just like won't die. There's something from the past that won't die, and it's embedded in your foundation. So basically you have to dig it out of the foundation, but that means that you have to let something completely fall apart. Why hasn't it fallen apart yet? Because it hasn't been fed. Give it what it needs. Give it what it wants. What does it want? This apple and tea. Apple and tea. Apple and tea. Maybe quite literally you're giving apple and tea offerings. Justice. Okay, so yeah, offerings. Offerings of apples and tea. Having a reciprocal and balanced relationship with this energy. It's not a time to get from the divine, it's a time to give. But there's a victory. There's a victory ahead. There's a victory ahead of a conflict. It's like you're going to see the victory before the conflict, so the conflict loses its appeal. Oh my gosh, this is how we end the reading with the Knight of Wands. From the Knight of Pentacles to the Knight of Wands. And this is what I was feeling from the beginning, is that you wanted to be the Knight of Wands. You wanted to move this forward, and you will. You drink the tea. You drink the tea. You see the victory. So when the conflict comes in, you're already on your way out the door. It doesn't mean anything. This could literally be feeding your demons as well. If you know, you can look that up. There's a method to feeding your demons where you can make them into allies. So as you feed them and give them offerings, then you're able to release into this tower and let judgment ring out and let death transform. Release yourself. Release yourself. So that is what I have for you, Gemini. Thank you so much for joining. Please check out your other readings for your other placements. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, my information is in the description box below.